We have 3 conference/witness waiting rooms. We have preliminary hearings in this court. This is the preliminary hearing for those charged with felony offenses. That's part of what they're entitled to have, is a prompt hearing to see if there's probable cause to believe that a felony or a crime was committed if they committed it. So that means that happens within a short period of time, 10 days if they're confined. So the witnesses and victims, or before in the other facility, would be seated with basically the defendant's family, and also have close contact with the defendant too. Here, if it's that type of situation, they can be seated in a witness room and be separated. So that protects them, safeguards them either emotionally or physically, whichever the case is. We also have conference rooms, so those who are involved with cases can meet privately with their attorneys, and the attorneys, in meeting with those clients, don't have the opinions of the next 5 or 6 people in the hallway. That's an advantage. The other advantage that you'll note is actually in the other courtroom. We have 2 courtrooms. Courtroom B, this one's designated A. Courtroom B has a separate access for people in custody, such as when they do come over for the preliminary hearings. We've achieved the other objective of having a separate traffic pattern. So the city police will bring prisoners to the court just as they've always done, but in this case they will bring them into a secured area. They will have a separate elevator, because everything here obviously has to be conducted on the 2nd floor because it is well within the floodplain. It is an extra expense, but I think it's money that is invested wisely to have the separate elevator. So we have no security issues or tripping hazards or pushing hazards by having people come up steps. So they will come up the prisoner elevator. That is then a confined space. There's only 2 entrances. One is into probation, which is controlled by probation. If there is a problem, probation can respond. And then the other entrance is into courtroom B. So there is never any type of contact between those in custody and those who are family or victims, where it's a controlled access. And then the other part is, of course, we have a separation of traffic patterns for court and the public and the prisoners. Those are the primary objectives that have been achieved, as well as clean, adequate space. We also have now adequate facilities for the public. Before, we didn't really have suitable restroom facilities for the public. As a matter of fact, the city building still doesn't have adequate restroom facilities, but the court facility does. If you'll note, when you came into the building, we had the 2 public restrooms and water fountains. I think that the public will find this a much more comfortable facility to be in. As you can see, the facility is spacious enough. No extra space, but it is spacious enough that I think the public can feel comfortable and feel that they're in a place where business that they find important is also treated as important by the city.